the unserious category. Yeah, if
Exactly.
you do auto-tune too blatantly and it's not used in an artful way,
Yeah.
it's a tool, but it's also an art. So
Yeah.
make sure that you're doing it in a way that sounds good.
Yeah.
Because you can just say, okay, they told me to set retune speed to 100 or whatever, and fucking it should sound good, but use your ear. Use your ear.
It makes a lot of people sound good, and it's kind of getting oversaturated. And I think
Right.
it's kind of like the reason why, for the like Midwest, for example, he has that auto croony kind of style, which a lot of people have, but the beats that he's on are like ridiculous in terms of production. Like they're everywhere, and so it gives you something else to listen to that you've probably like heard this kind of auto crooning style before, but like the production is just ridiculous to listen to.
It's directly related to the production.
Yeah, and I don't think like you're going for something as crazy. But yeah, I would experiment with that on your voice. I think it would sound pretty good. So yeah, so if I were to go back, so content, I think it's like yellow. Mostly like if I was a producer, like I said, try autotune, see what happens. Production, I think there's a lot of clashing. So I don't know the exact situation. I think you said that you recorded and mixed everything and even like recorded some instruments, but for that synth specifically, if you really want to keep it in there, I would really try to do some dynamic EQ on it to help it not clash in the mid range with the vocals. So briefly, I've said this before, but I'll just like try to do it in a speedy way. So for dynamic EQ with vocals, trying to make it sit with the instrumental well, what it basically does is duck the frequency range that where your vocal sits at. It ducks that part of the frequency range of the beat or the synth. In this case, I would put it to that synth, that whoa kind of wobbly synth. So I would like sweep your vocal frequency wise, find the frequency range of band that like your voice sounds most present in, and then take that same frequency, put it into a dynamic EQ, subtractive EQ for the beat, that synth specifically maybe, and then have it duck as your voice comes in. So you can do that with the dynamic EQ. I think that's a tip that I would say.
I mean, ducking's one way to do it, but I feel like it can also sort of subvert the actual issue. Like if your problem is
composition's like step one.
But if your issue is specifically frequency clashing, you should address it with EQ first. And especially if it's in a frequency range where there's a lot of shit clashing.
So you're saying like just straight static EQ?
Yeah, like I don't think it's not just the vocal clashing. It's instruments clashing with each other that also happen to be clashing with the vocal. It's like a multi-way car crash.
Yeah.
So like you need to like move those cars out of the way of each other, not just put a big airbag in front of one of the cars. Yeah, you definitely need to go in and one tip for that, for making it a little easier in identifying which ones are clashing, try muting one track at a time, like just each one separately, and seeing when it feels like some of that goes away. That's probably going to be easier than going in and trying to sweep each track.
Damn, bro, breaking my mic back
fucking
there.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah.
It's going to be easier than sweeping with EQ through each track. Just go and mute one track on a system where you can actually hear the vocal clashing or the mid-range clash, and then see which one it is, and then go into that and find the frequency and lower it, and do that, repeat until you don't have more clashing.
Bro, I think I could learn from that. I think I'm mixing a song right now over a beat that like was made to be an instrumental.
Yeah.
So like its mid ranges are heavy, and I've been trying to dynamic EQ it.
Right.
Maybe the way is to static EQ.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's probably both. Like
both. Yeah.
But yeah, that's also like depending on if you're just dealing with one beat, where you can only possibly have one clash between if you have a vocal on top of it and the beat. Versus if you have a bunch of tracks or stems or whatever, there can be clash between the separate stems or tracks. So
cool. I think overall vibe for me, it's a yellow. What do you think?
Yeah, man, I think it's a cool vibe.
Or not vibe, sorry. Overall track.
Overall
I would develop it.
Yeah, overall track. I don't know if I went through the other ones. I think content would be content's a chartreuse. I don't have any specific problems with it. I would probably want to go back and listen to the lyrics again.
Yeah.
And maybe suggest like trying to make sure that you have some sort of like hookiness or like a lot of the best lyrics out there in any genre are ones where they sort of lines connect to each other and there's sort of like a smartness about the way that they do. Like one line will set up like sort of a punchline almost. And then the one after it sort of ties things together in a way that's like insightful or a different way of thinking about the situation or a different way of saying things that have been said before, which is what music is most of the time.
Yep.
So maybe just look at the lyrics and try to make them like especially interesting and smart, rather than just purely expressing what you think. Saying what you think in an interesting way is what makes really, really good, cool lyrics. True. Especially when you're talking about, being sad. That's like a really good case, actually. There's a lot of songs out there that are about being sad, but the songs themselves don't make the listener feel sad. They make them like sort of relate to it, but also bring it into a different light or a different context.
Sometimes.
So that's just a thought with that. And then production, it's a yellow. There's just stuff to work on there with frequencies and vocal mixing and stuff like that. Vocal production.
Cool.
And then overall, I would give it a again, like a yellow, or maybe slightly leaning towards green. Probably a yellow.
Okay.
There's some stuff that needs to be developed. Maybe a couple things that could be redone. So it's a yellow.
Cool. Well, there you go. Thank you very much for submitting Night High. Definitely want to hear what you work on next. Especially, man, throw some autotune on it, see what happens. That's what I want to hear on your voice. But okay, we got Castle Finn Buried Treasure. This is the last one on our queue, but I think it'd be nice to try to get At Odds. What do you think? Because At Odds was in the chat. If he's still there, let us know.
Does he have another one?
At Odds.
Oh, that was submitted
during
after that.
The stream.
Well, let's do
Castle Finn first.
Yeah, let's do them in order.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So we have Castle Finn Buried Treasure. It's a finished release. There's no description to it. But yeah, let's listen to it. Here we go. Cool. I like it. It's like
washy. Nice.
I feel like floating, dude.
Yeah.